If you've been on board a Virgin Voyages ship, or even if you've just been tempted and are yet to give it a go, you might be all in on the twee Malmaison language. Or you might be a normal human man or woman, just like your favourite 42-year-old crew tuber, and I bet you could really do without the marketing fluff and change for change's sake. Behind the fluff and uncomfortable seating, it's just a ship like any other. Translate from Branson back to English, and it all becomes clear. Here, ladies and gentlemen, we go. The first thing that you might think is Virgin using their own terminology just for the sake of it is actually real. Portsmouth. If you cruise a lot, then you might think, why not just call it Southampton like everyone else? But Portsmouth is actually a real place. It's where people with anchor tattoos and missing teeth come from. The first irritating Virginism might actually be when you book your trip. You can book direct, or you can use a travel agent. First mate indeed. In a self-aware, meta-ironic move, the Milton Keynes of cruise ships is centered around a roundabout. I know what you're thinking. Cruise ships usually center around the atrium. I wonder how the roundabout is different. Answer: it's not. The roundabout is the atrium. It's not traditional like Cunard, it's not glamorous like Princess or Cheshire nightclub like MSC. But it's some open space over a couple of decks with stairs snaking through the middle, with bars, shops, shore excursion desk and the occasional inflatable tentacle hanging around. A bit like a roundabout, there's occasionally a shabby looking dude drunk and asleep in the middle. That's probably where the roundabout name came from. Probably reminded Richard of Wolverhampton. On embarkation day, when you first hit the atrium, you'll be screamed at by members of the ship's company saying, "Hi passengers." Of course, in Branson it's pronounced "Happenings cast," squealing, "Ahoy sailors!" In case that's not clear, Virgin call the entertainment team the Happenings cast. Other than the job title and teeth-itching enforced fun, these are just Virgin Voyages' version of Butlin's Redcoats. If you board wearing a stripy top and one of those white bowl hats like a bottle of matey, then I suppose "Ahoy sailor" is fair enough. For the rest of us, passenger, guest, or just our actual human name will do. Of course, if you've bought into the smoke and mirrors, you might want everyone to know that you're not just a sailor. You are a rock star, or maybe even a mega rock star. If you're Steven Tyler, fair enough. If not, well, you aren't a rock star. You're just Keith from Coventry who booked a suite. After suites, the other cabins are pretty easy to decipher. Insider, okay. Sea view, okay. Sea terrace, well, that's just a balcony cabin. Navigating your way to the cabin might need a bit of concentration. Left and right is too easy for Virgin Voyages. They've gone with A and Z. In fairness, Virgin may have shunned port and starboard, but why are any cruise ships using port and starboard? We're on holiday, not in the hunt for Red October. It's front, back, left and right. I'm not going to moan about the names of bars and venues. All ships do that, and the galley is food court enough to accept that it's not a buffet. But when I asked one of the crew which end the theatre was, I just wanted them to point to the front or the back. FYI, it's at the front, like almost every other ship. Instead, the dude pretended to be confused and acted like not only did Scarlet Lady not have a theatre, but he didn't even know what a theatre was. If you end up in a similar situation, the Red Room. The Red Room is the theatre. Not sort of. It is a funking 100% obvious theatre-ish theatre. The other one I'll mention is the ice cream bar. Virgin Voyages are super self-conscious and desperate for people to think that they are edgy and cool. And if you think that Carry On films are edgy and cool, then you'll probably agree. If you don't get that reference, then you're probably the age that Virgin Voyages pretend their guests are. Oh yeah, the other stupid one is the athletic club. Don't go up there expecting a bit of track and field. It's a bar with a fun children's play area that nobody uses. Okay, if you've ever been on a cruise ship, or in a bar on land, or just been alive in the world, then you'll know that a bar tab is the bill that you run up by buying drinks. On Virgin Voyages, bar tab is literally the opposite of a bar tab. It's what they call onboard credit, but onboard credit that can only be spent on drinks. A bit often gets thrown in during offers and deals, and you can also buy it before boarding and you get a little bit extra free. Don't buy too much though, it's a use it or lose it situation. Actual onboard credit is called Sailor Loot. Wow, isn't that fun? The cabin card tech is in a little plastic box on a bit of string that you wear around your wrist like a friendship bracelet. As if you're a billionaire island-owning hippie pensioner wearing linen trousers. It's a bit awkward to use, but okay, fine. This apparently is a wearable. There are a handful of other change for change sake names that are so tiresome they don't even deserve an eye roll. Booty free, ugh. Sure Things, Excursion Desk, OBVs. Get Lost, that's the future cruise desk. The entertainment team all have made up names. Flair, Spark, The Charmer or whatever. I was on a comedy festival cruise and it seemed like the Happenings cast were having the week off. I never saw them, so I didn't get the chance to ask why they couldn't just be called whatever name their mother gave them. If you've made it this far, then you're interested enough in the grey and red ships that you probably already know what Scarlet Night means. In theory, it's a massive, ship-wide Moulin Rouge style party, and in fairness, on every cruise tube video I've seen, it certainly looks that way. But on my trip, it was an absolute dud. Literally the same as any other night, just with a few red light bulbs, the odd inflatable fish or tentacle here and there, a lot of people dressed in red and a few even pretending that something exciting was going on. I do think that it's usually a bit more party-ish, but I can't pretend. That would be patronising. There are probably a few others, but they will be obvious enough for you to work them out. Change for change sake Virginisms translated back to English. Done.